Vacation.
That's right, folks. After 3 straight episodes of Talking Spinners, we're having ourselves a little vacay in Springfield, USA.
Yes, right here in Springfield,
USA.
Dude, we found out that it's actually in
Vacation Land.
Fine. So we're here in Vacation Land, enjoying a little downtime after enduring so many spinner rides. We also realized that we haven't done too many special episodes as of late.
We asked our fans on Facebook what type of special episodes that they'd like to see more of, and Top 10 lists won by a very slim margin. So while we're guests of Springfield, we're going to hit all the happening spots. Ready, SurferClock?
I am so ready. This is the Top 10 happening spots in Springfield.
Whoa! Check it out. I didn't know they still had shops with TVs in the windows.
Of course they do. Let's start with
The breaking news.
Podcast Bro. Concentrate.
Ted Brockman here with this urgent news bulletin. A large flying saucer-shaped object has been spotted flying past the Springfield border. Residents are advised to stay in their homes, and farmers are advised to bring their cows in. Our live chopper cam is following the craft along to track its every move. Let's go to the sky cam for the latest. The craft appears to be flying somewhat erratically, no set pattern and no intended purpose. It's flown past the residential areas and is headed for the city. It's now headed toward the television depot on the corner of Brooks and Simon.
Hey, check it out, Surfs. We're on TV.
Dude,
look! Oh, UFO. Oh, no, not again!
calm down. Maybe it'll pass us by.
It appears to be focused on a couple of tourists now, and it's drawing in close. And there goes the tractor beam, aimed right at them. Up they go, and they're gone. And just as quickly as it appeared, it flew away. More on that later, I suppose.
Ow, not again.
We can't even take so much as a simple vacation without something terrible happening to us. I'd blame you, but it's far too easy at this point.
Oh, you think I wanted this to happen? No way!
Oh, of course you didn't. Sorry, apparently my brain is also on vacation. Let's focus. We appear to have been abducted by a UFO.
At least I have experience here. Okay, so if we wait here long enough, eventually our captors will come in and they'll say something like, we have you now, or tremble before me, or take us to your leader.
Now you're just quoting B-movies.
Tremble before us.
We have you now.
Okay, just how many times has this happened to you?
Silence, Earth creature.
Have we captured the humans known as SurferClock and TAP-G? The one and only.
Except the pronunciations are off by a little bit. Same difference, I guess.
Our mission is successful. Prepare for extradition.
Excuse me, you can't extradite someone from the country they're actually from.
I don't think that word means what you think it means.
You must answer for your crimes against our species. You have both committed unspeakable acts targeting our race.
What unspeakable acts?
If we speak about them, they are no longer unspeakable.
I think I know what this is about, but really, SurferClock meant no harm when he was criticizing Lisa at the E-Tate R.I.P. episode.
What? TAP-G, did these guys even look remotely similar to the residents of Omicron Persei 8?
I don't know. I just kind of assume all aliens looked alike.
Okay, alright. Being unable to distinguish between two very different alien races isn't racist. It's downright unobservant. Look, just cut the junk and tell us why you're here and where you're taking us.
I am Kang, and this is my sister Kodos. We are under orders not to tell you the location of your extradition.
Orders from who? Your supreme leaders?
Actually, it was a couple of recently released...
Sister, stop! They are not to know.
The oddly pale human did ask nicely.
We have arrived. You will not be returned to Springfield until you have answered for your crimes.
Ow! Ooh.
We will monitor your auditory progress with these devices. Do not fail, or the consequences will be dire.
For your species?
No, for you.
Ow! Oh, what is this hideous place? How are we breathing?
Gee, what are you...
Oh, back off, you savages, back! I have a fat man and I know how to use him!
Not cool. TAP-G, come out from behind me and look around for a second.
Feels like there's at least 2 suns.
At least we can go into Moe's and grab a Duff.
Wait, what?
Yeah, and there's the Krusty Burger, Cletus' Chicken Shack. Those aliens dropped us off back at Springfield. A much warmer version of it, admittedly.
Hold on. There's a Duff Gardens, and that's Krusty Land.
Wait, is that London across the way? No, it can't be.
If I may...
To atone for your crime of reviewing inferior spinners, you must review ours!
SurferClock, you said we were done!
No, I didn't. I just said I wanted some time away from spinners. But we can't get away from completion with fans like these.
How do menacing space aliens keep influencing our podcast anyhow?
What is this cast of the pod? It is the thing that the SurferClock and TAP-G humans do and or may be doing as we speak.
Well, I guess we can't delay it any longer. Time to review Kang and Kodos Twirl'n'Hurl.
Universal Studios Florida is the home to this, the last spinner ride we have to do for a while, hopefully. It was the last thing to open when Universal Orlando finished expanding the World Expo area and to split off into Springfield. And where most of the restaurants opened on August 2nd, 2013, this ride opened August 11th, 2013. It sits across from the Quickie Mart, beckoning to folks with its bright flashy colors and hideous one-eyed alien, as most folks that are not us would describe it.
A fair assumption. Continue.
Universal had always wanted to do a little more with the World Expo area than what was there when it opened. Back to the Future and the International Film and Food Festival restaurant occupied the space initially in the early 90s, along with a Swamp Thing set and the Wild Wild West stunt show. The area evolved with Men in Black Alien Attack and Fear Factor Live moving in. Before long, the Back to the Future ride was booted to make way for the Simpsons ride.
Add that and a Quickie Mart to the mix, and what do you get? A World Expo area that lacked theme cohesion. It was enough to make Walt roll over in his grave. And while that's true that World Expo was meant to be a World's Fair of sorts, it was just too jumbled. Men in Black was the only attraction left to integrate the expo part of it by using the Universe and You facade to hide the secret training facility. So, early 2013 saw the closure of the International Film and Food Festival restaurant, and a bevy of new buildings sprung up all around it.
This was the first of the Universal parks to get an entire Springfield area, with Hollywood Springfield having opened in April of 2015. No word on plans for future Springfields.
Get to the part where we are invading already.
We're nearly there, guys. You'll get your time in the spotlight.
It wasn't until a press release had come out a few months prior to the opening that we got a first glimpse at this spinner. It was nice to finally find out what the odd bit of construction near the lagoon would be, and that didn't seem to fit with the rest of the aesthetic.
Kang and Kodos Twirl'n'Hurl is nestled across from the Quickie Mart between the Duff Gardens outdoor bar and the Simpsons games and food stand. It's hard to miss with its bright neon signs at night and its 40-foot-tall rendition of Kang. Or is it Kodos? Anyways, the first thing that most folks will notice is the lack of an express line. This is one of several attractions here at Universal Orlando to be built that lacks a dedicated express line. As you enter the line, it's hard not to notice that if you're at more than maybe a 20-minute wait, you'll be out in the sun, exposed to the elements. If the recent Dumbo upgrades taught us anything, then this comes across as a baffling decision.
As you get closer, fans and overhead covering help to ease the remaining wait time, but there are also a few TVs above playing you clips from the show. More specifically, a selection of clips that are highlights from the sitcom's Treehouse of Horrors Halloween specials. Significant because this is where our space alien duo made their debut. Eventually, you will be split into pairs and assigned to one of the 8 available spaceships. Buckle in and have a look at your controls. Look familiar? If so, it's because we've done this 5 friggin' times now!
Alright, buddy, we're almost to the home stretch. You'll hear some assuring and calming voiceovers as you settle in, trying to reassure you that you're going to have fun. Why you would need this assurance is half the problem with this ride, but we'll get to that soon enough. Once the ride starts, well, I think Kodos manages to sum it up best. How must we move?
We must move forward, not backward, upward, not forward, and always twirling, twirling, twirling towards freedom.
I'm actually kind of curious as to whether that played any part in this being a spinner ride.
As you lift skyward, you'll be told that you've been deceived somehow, and that your mission is to invade Springfield. You'll be able to move up and down as the spinner ride norm, but wait, there's slightly more. You'll notice several targets with Springfield's denizens screaming as if they've been blasted by lasers. Rising or lowering past them triggers the target to spin and make a brief sound clip from the character.
90 seconds later, you're done. Please gather your personal belongings, take small children by the hand, and exit to the right.
Phew, alright, so, what do we think of this, thankfully, final spinner ride?
It is a resounding okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, there's really not much to it, and as we've seen from a lot of our previous spinner rides, the spinning is usually about all you need with it.
Yeah.
My main problem with that, kind of making that assumption, is this is a ride that's themed around one of the longest running sitcom, if not the longest running sitcom on television.
I do kind of like the gimmick that they have of flying by the targets and the screaming of all that. I do kind of wish they would keep score, though. That would have made it a little nifty.
I guess it would have made it interesting, but I suppose there's really not much point to it, being that it only lasts about, say, 90 seconds.
Maybe, but, it'd be something. It's kind of like one of the reasons why Toy Story Midway Mania is so popular.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice little touch. It's something that, admittedly, none of the other spinner rides have. They don't have sort of this element of target and having, actually interacting with what's around you. Save for One Fish, Two Fish, where you're actually following the beat to the music, but you're doing that to not get wet.
And it's the same thing with Magic Carpets of Aladdin.
Yeah, so I guess it is a little bit of a step up in the whole interactive thing.
But it's not quite enough.
Yeah, I mean, you would expect that something with the Simpsons branding on it would have been a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But as many say, the show is suffering seasonal rot. Perhaps so too is the theme park kind of equivalent of, we have a Simpsons, we have an entire ride dedicated to it, and now we have an entire area dedicated to it. We can just make a little ride here. It's not too much.
I will say this, though. The best thing about this attraction, bar none, is the writing.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. And that is one thing I wanted to bring up, too, but I guess I kind of forgot about it.
This is definitely a product that feels straight from the offices of Fox and, Brooks, Simon, and Granig. It feels like a genuine Simpsons product, and that's really, really impressive.
Now, I did kind of mention earlier the whole, you are going to have fun. This is going to be a fun, calm ride with nothing happening. I wanted to actually ding the ride for that a little bit, just because you shouldn't need to be assured that you're going to have fun on a ride, but it's actually a part of the writing to kind of say, oh, maybe this isn't so bad, and then you're suddenly caught up in it.
It's a whole play on the thing with Kang and Kodos, the running joke on the series that they're completely transparent in their motives, but at the same time they try extremely hard not to be, and of course they fail in every sense of the word.
Yeah. Oh, I want to say one of my favorite things from it is I think it's the line, "We have you now, your tickets are non-refundable." Non-refundable! And that plays really well to the entirety of what Universal has done with the Simpsons area.
Pretty much being nothing but a satire of Disney. I didn't say it was bad, I'm just saying that does tend to be Simpsons' gimmick when they're doing these rides, especially on the Simpsons ride, and yes, it even spills over into the spinner. Ultimately, it feels kind of corny there. I really wish there could have been something a little bit more done with it. It could have been really, really interesting. I have to give this a 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah, right about the middle. It sounds about right, but to me, I think I'm going to add in sort of the wasted potential for the area. It could have been a small kiddie roller coaster. It could have been pretty much anything else, but a spinner? My goodness, there's a million of these things. Though there is the benefit that anyone of any size can ride it, but we'll get to that in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 2 out of 5. So that's a 2 out of 5 from SurferClock and a 2.5 out of 5 from TAP-G. Kang and Kodos Twirl'n'Hurl is among the spinner rides that does not have a minimum height requirement, meaning that if your tiny little infant can remain upright and unassisted, then they can ride. Now again, they do have to sit up unassisted, meaning no lap sitting is allowed. Now, anyone who is less than 48 inches tall or 121 centimeters tall must be accompanied by a supervising companion who is at least 14 years of age and meets all of the other ride requirements.
As with all Universal rides, all riders are required to remain upright, unassisted, keep their heads, necks, and shoulders upright, grasp the restraint with at least one upper extremity, and must have at least one leg, either natural or prosthetic, terminate past the edge of the seat. There's usually a requirement about absorbing forces similar to those of a roller coaster, but the ships tap out at about 13 miles per hour or 21 kilometers per hour.
Service animals are permitted onto the attraction. The ride is not recommended for those who suffer from motion sickness or have had recent surgery. Those in scooters and wheelchairs must transfer into the ride vehicle, though several of the vehicles have been modified to aid with this transfer.
Can we give this a hearty recommendation? That's a big ol' maybe. While the ride doesn't deliver too many thrills, it may be just enough for the smaller children and older folks. For the kids who can't get on other rides due to height restrictions, it's at least one potential other offering outside of Woody Woodpecker's Kids Zone, though those kids may or may not find the ride to be too much.
I personally can't give it a recommendation unless you're either a huge fan of the show or fall within what TAP-G said above. I suppose it's not a bad ride, but it could have been so much more. Alright guys, your spinner is reviewed. Can we please get back to the real Springfield? Half of our day is gone now. You stay right where you are. We've got a bone to pick with you.
Beam us down, Kodos, and go back to Springfield. We'll take it from here.
I should have known you two were behind this.
Oh, we gotta get out of here, dude. Maybe Captain Gorton...
Captain Gorton can save you this time.
Oh, ow, don't poke us so hard. Are those space guns?
Look at all these Earthlings.
Over there, that place looks much quieter.
That's a team members only area. We can't...
Get moving.
Yes, sir, Mr. Alien, sir.
Y'all won't get away with this. In fact, why are you here anyway? The Federation put you guys away ages ago. We got out on good behavior, but now we can see right through you. We figured out your little game, and we're not going to let you keep playing it like a broken record.
Exposition.
Ow!
You're supposed to be fair and just. But we figured out that you have a bias that cannot continue and go ignored.
What, that we like good rides and hate the bad ones? That's the only bias that I know of, and I do not apologize for that. You're biased against aliens, and it's just not fair.
You're not still bitter about that Stitch thing, are you? It's been about 3 years just hanging up already.
It's not just that. Look, SurferClock felt uneasy around Lisa and the extraterrestrial alien encounter. TAP-G chided the ET adventure, and we figured that one last shot was in order. But then it occurred to us.
You forgot about Kang and Kodos Twirl'n'Hurl. You just ran off to Springfield and we're going to pass you right over it.
Did you all not hear the part where we hit 5 other spinners beforehand? As critics and as human beings, man, we needed a vacation.
I'm surprised we haven't lost more viewership considering that we're now doing a 4th spinner episode in a row. So if you're listening for the first time, please like, favorite, and subscribe if you're digging this.
Enough. You'll not sit here and chill for fans on our time.
Keep those feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. Being that you'll never change, we will simply change you into dust.
Wait, don't! Ah!
Well, I guess that takes care of that.
Let's go back to the starship and party like it's...
Hold it right there!
Are you supposed to be back here?
As a matter of fact, I am. Drop your weapons!
You've got some nerve threatening us with that tiny little weapon. It almost looks like a toy.
That may be, but this one isn't! Whoa! Looks like it worked. Hey, try talking all you want, but this silencer removed your personal sound channels. You'll be quiet for as long as I need you to be quiet.
Ow, again.
Looks like they blew off our little speaker thingies.
Hey, it's an MIB team member.
Gentlemen, you shouldn't be back here. The sign says team members only. Think it's time for a little eye exam. Go ahead and look right here.
Alright, you two crazy alien-esque characters. Let's take you down for meet and greet time at the immigration room. And you two, back into the park. This is team members only area.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
We must have got back here accidentally. Come on, Tap. Say, why were we here anyhow? I honestly can't seem to remember.
Man, it's too hot to think about all that. Let's head over to the Krusty Burger and grab ourselves some Buzz Cola to cool off.
I couldn't agree more. Oh, we're recording? Guess we'll have to listen to it back at the studio. Thanks for listening, I suppose. Until next time, I'm SurferClock.
And I cannot believe we're this spaced out.
Join us again for What's the Attraction?
While work is your vacation.
Man, I could really go for a delicious ribwich with this Buzz Cola.